and have a wide selection of Delta 8, including Serene 8. Trek CBD is locally owned and operated. Go visit Scott or Shannon at their 84th and Highway 2 location or at 27th and S. Or go online to Trek CBD with free delivery. Trek CBD. CBD done right.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked up by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is Thursday. Rico is alive. Jay Foreman is out today. So, we'll have some fun. We'll pull Rico into deep water. I'm actually going to let Rico ask questions today. Like, let him be curious, and I'll try to give him honest answers. We'll put the pressure on Rico.
Questions about what?
Well, you have a lot of questions during break normally, and they don't get to air. And I think it's pretty funny that some of them deserve to be on air.
Well, I feel like some of them shouldn't be on air.
Well, I think the comedy would be me trying to avoid those questions. I think that would be that would be how I think it's going to play.
I can think of some of my not for air questions.
Right. You're going to have to frame them in a way that makes it radio friendly. And then I will have to frame my responses.
Okay.
And we'll see how that goes. And then
we'll see how this dance looks.
And then maybe I'll do that for the listeners, because the listeners will always dive into certain spaces that.
Oh, the questions we get on like the text line that we don't read out loud and that we talk about during the breaks are just amazing, because we're just like, we can't answer that on air.
There's some
that is a no-go for air question.
There's some, so I think, and again, 402-464-5685. People know that on the text line, we can give you the open door to asking those sorts of questions. And the things that we can answer, we answer. The things we can't, you already know we can't answer.
Well, even some of the questions we can answer that we just choose not to answer because the answer would not be great for us.
So let me ask this question. So again, Starter Heyman text line, the Honda Lincoln hotline, they're both open. You guys can reach out. And the live video stream, Starter Heyman video stream is up, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Rico, you'll have to monitor the stream for me.
Yep.
In case I can't see those.
I always do. I throw the comments up there. If they're good,
if
you have a good comment on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, I'll throw it up on the screen so you'll be able to see, your name and your question, and everybody else can see it.
If they're good. Okay, so good. I wanted to start with this because it seems to be that time of year where Husker football fans get frustrated because there's no football.
That's just all year.
Yeah, but you gotta at some point you have to exhale, don't you?
No, there's no exhaling.
Really?
There's no exhaling.
It's just that.
It's just anger and non-trust all year long.
Non-trust of what?
Non-trust of what's going on within the program. Currently within these last couple of years, just because of what you've seen on the field and the record the way that it is. Although there are some people that trust it no matter what, which you do, I guess. But
is that your lane is your lane you want to hear what you want to hear? Is your lane you want to think what you want to think, or is your lane somewhere in the middle?
I like hearing from the coaches, and I believe what they say. But at the same time, seeing the actions on the field sometimes don't validate what the coaches say. But as I've said many times on this airway, I have never been a coach. I am not a coach. So I can't speak on what they're seeing in practice and what they are saying to be true or not to be true, because I believe that they are currently at the height of their job. Unless you want to count the NFL as the height of the job, then they're, a rung below it. So they know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. They know what they're seeing. And I'm just going off of what they are telling us because, again, I believe that they have more information than I do.
Okay, so are you the type of fan that believes what percentage do you believe that the coaches know? So are you the type that questions the coach all the time, some of the time, rarely?
I rarely question the coach. Okay. When it's not during game time, I don't question the coaches because I'm not at practice. When they're saying, this person practiced well, I can only believe them because
we had the best practice ever.
I'm not at practice. I mean, that got a little old after a while, but I'd like to believe that they were having solid practices. I wouldn't say the best practice that we've ever had since I've been at the University of Nebraska, because no,
well,
don't. Just don't.
Right? Is that an immediate turnoff?
Yes, that is now. But when they're saying, so-and-so practiced well, I'm like, all right, cool. I believe they did. It's, especially after like a tough game, when they're like, in practice, the kickers, they're making their kicks, they're doing this, they're doing that. I'm like, I have no reason to not believe you. Like Fred Hoiberg, when he's saying guys are making their shots in practice, I have no reason not to believe you. But then it comes to the game, and then it's all off. And I'm like, they might have practiced well, but there's some sort of disconnect between the practice field and Memorial Stadium or whatever field that they're playing on.
And it's in certain sports.
Yes.
It's in certain sports.
Because certain sports, there are other sports that practice well and perform well.
So let me ask this. Would you rather have Nebraska baseball win the College World Series or football win the Big Ten West?
College World Series. Because that's the best of the best. The Big Ten West is just the best of the rest.
Right?
Because if you win as of right now, it sucks to say, but if you win the Big Ten West, congratulations, you're going to the Rose Bowl unless it's part of the college football playoff. Because whoever wins the Big Ten East is going to the college football playoff. And because they're going to win the Big Ten. As of right now.
How many times recently has the Big Ten West been the conference champion?
Yeah, I don't know. You're going to have to go back a ways. It's been Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State one year, maybe? Just Ohio State, really. I think Wisconsin won it the year that Ohio State couldn't participate in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
But we all know what would have happened if the Buckeyes were in the Big Ten championship game.
Okay, so let's go back to this. Women's volleyball national championship, Husker football Big Ten.
National
West.
championship. Like, if you're giving me a national championship versus the Big Ten West title, I'm taking the national championship.
Even though it's football.
I'm taking the
return of football success.
I am taking the national championship.
Really?
Yes.
So if we go in two rooms. All right, fan base, here we go. You can go in two rooms. Big Ten West football champions or national championship in any other sport.
I'm taking the national championship. Maybe not any other sport, but volleyball, baseball, wrestling, men's basketball, women's basketball.
So would you take?
I'm taking those national championships.
Would you take a Big Ten baseball championship over a women's Big Ten championship?
What do you mean?
Like you can have one or the other.
Big Ten baseball or like women's volleyball?
Women's basketball.
Women's basketball?
Programs that have not done that thing, right?
Well, the men won the Big Ten. The baseball team won the Big Ten last year,
right?
So there's that.
You
can do that.
Like.
But if I take one, you don't get the other.
You don't get the other. You don't get the other.
Give me the women's basketball. Yeah, because the men will be like second.
women's basketball national championship, men's
Ooh.
basketball conference championship.
They win the conference. They go to the tournament. Can you guarantee a game?
Well, I mean,
Can you guarantee a game?
Look,
Because you could win the conference and get blown out in the first round.
You got to take your risk.
I hate you.
You got to take your risk, right? How
Women's basketball national championship sounds real nice, though. That means you're
that means a lot of things went right, and it changes the standard for everything else.
You beat one of 3 teams: UConn, Baylor, South Carolina.
Right, like you got to go through. You got to go through.
Give me the national championship, yeah. Because again, you can't guarantee me a win in the tournament. Like men's basketball, like we're Big Ten champions, and then you lose in the first round of the tournament, and it's like, congratulations, you had a good season, but you still didn't accomplish the one thing.
Yeah, but the one thing was winning the title. The second thing would be winning a game.
Well, the one thing that everybody really everybody wants a winning season, obviously, after what's happened.
We're leaping from 7 wins.
I know,
to a conference
but the one thing for Nebraska men's basketball that everybody is always concerned with and is always surrounding it with is the only Power 6 team to never win a NCAA tournament game.
Okay, so to win an NCAA tournament basketball game versus winning the Big Ten West, what's the bigger moment right now?
One more time.
Winning an NCAA tournament game,
Mm-hmm.
or winning the Big Ten West in football?
It would be winning the Big Ten West.
Right? Like that would be the news.
Football returning to prom. Well, see,
right? So the headline,
but the hard part with that and saying if Nebraska won the Big Ten West, they would return to prominence. And I don't want to make this comparison, but I'm going to, and I know I might catch some flack for it. Northwestern won the Big Ten West twice, and then last year they had 3 wins. And I know Nebraska's not Northwestern, and if they win the Big Ten West, that probably means more for their recruiting and their, the way that the players feel and constituting a feeling of winning back within the program. But you've seen it before where, Indiana last year was one of the best teams in the Big Ten, and this year they were garbage. So just winning in one season doesn't constitute we're back. Because how many times has Texas said that?
Well, but it means you don't suck.
It does mean you don't. Well, it means you don't suck that year.
Well, but
that would be great.
Wouldn't that be?
That would be fantastic. Now keep it going. Because again, you said I'm taking a chance. You can't guarantee me anything.
You can't guarantee.
So if you win the national championship in anything, you were the best of the best that season.
You could win the Big Ten West, go to the championship game, and get mauled by 40.
Yeah. Does that make you feel better?
I don't. I'm asking.
It's like when Nebraska went to the Big Ten championship and got rolled by Wisconsin. Everybody's like, yeah, but we made the Big Ten championship. I'm like, yeah, but you got rolled.
Which lane do you want to be in?
I want to win. I just want to win.
I
don't care. I just want to win. I want to be the best of the best.
I just want to win games.
And the other sports in the Nebraska Athletics Department have shown that they can be the best of the best. Right now, football has not. Do I believe that they can get there? Yes, I do. I have no idea how long it's going to take. It could be next year. Who knows?
But that's such an interesting thought process. So if you were forced feet to fire, to tell us the year Nebraska football wins the Big Ten West, and if you're wrong, you don't get to do it anymore. You don't get to enjoy football anymore. You can't watch anymore. What year would you say? If you're wrong, you can't watch anymore. So you're gonna bet safer. You're gonna bet safer than sorry, right?
Wow.
Right. If you're wrong,
but if they get it earlier than my prediction, am I still wrong?
You're good. No, you're good. If it's earlier than, let's say, I'll give you a buffer.
Okay.
Let's say 2 years. You got to be within 2 years. Where do you? How long do you think it takes for this program to win the Big Ten West? Not the Big Ten Conference.
Just
not
just their side
just
of
the West.
Just their side.
Text line, let us know how long. What's the year? Right?
What
you
year,
get a
what year
2-year buffer. What year does Nebraska win the Big Ten West?
What year is Dylan Raiola? Was he at 24? No, I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
I'm
You're
really
really not. You're really not.
And the Big Ten. It's not going to be next year. It's probably not going to be the year after that. I would give you 2025
and just say buffer that allows 2023 to be okay
Yeah.
and 2027 to not be awful.
Yeah,
That's the window that we're in.
2025.
All right, we'll throw
So
the break.
3 years.
We'll throw the break. We'll ponder. You got time to ponder in the break, right? Text line, let us know what you think. Bleak Easy says 2025. Yeah, it's just I'm not real sure, and it just lets you know where you think mentally where the program is. So we'll throw the break. You listen to Old School.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
This is Dan Friedman. In recent years, over 1/3 of all Nebraska traffic crashes have been caused by drivers aged 15 to 19. If you're a teen driver, don't become another statistic. Keep your eyes on the road. And if you're a parent, please remember that safe driving habits start with you. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices. For almost 60 years, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
I'm Jenny Benson, president of the NSEA, and I'm asking for your help. We know the best learning for our kids happens when they are in classrooms, in person, with their classmates and teachers. To help keep our public schools open for in-person learning, please follow health and safety guidelines from medical experts. Working together, our students continue to learn, grow, and thrive.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Allo knows businesses need reliable communication, both at the office and at home. Now more than ever. Just listen to Bill Mitchner from Lighthouse.
Before we'd have breaks in service, especially for internet, but we've never had any issues with Allo. It's always been there and available when we needed it.
At Allo, supporting your business is our business. To get your free quote and switch today, visit allofiber.com/workfast or call 402-480-6685 today.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric always makes safety a top priority for our home and office. In under just 1 hour, their team installed the state-of-the-art air scrubber system directly into our existing HVAC ductwork. This technology purifies the air and reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses, creating a safer breathing environment for my family. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Expect sunshine and mild conditions again. We'll top out near 57, a northwest wind at 10 to 15. A few clouds moving into the region tonight, a low of 30. Tomorrow we'll hold a high of 42, but falling afternoon temps. North winds eventually gusting 35 to 40, and a chance of snow moving in by late tomorrow afternoon. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe. Back to Old School with DP and J. Presented by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese.
Clap your hands, everybody, and everybody just clap your hands. Fly girls, clap your hands. Fly guys, clap your hands. Well, if you're feeling all right and you think you're on, somebody let me know. Well, everybody in the place, put a whistle in your face, scream it out and say, yo,
I am so childish. This is like this is a happy song. This is a college dorm room.
I had to get the entire intro in there, and I was like, I wanted to get it so that it was like shorter, but I was like, I can't put that part over the intro, saying, old school DPJ, because it's talking. So I was like, you know what? It'll just be a little bit longer. Nobody cares. Because it's great.
Showdown, Eighth Wonder. That's really old school. That is really old school. Sorry to have been text line. You guys have been busy. We'll get to some of those because we were just trying to figure out what the thinking is of the fan base. Like, what's the preference?
Where
Like,
you guys at?
What are the focuses for how you go through this thing? Corey and Lincoln, first of all, from the crossover, I was not going to acknowledge the Dolphin situation. I was not going to do that, Jay. Husker fan in Manhattan asked the question, says, what's up, DP? I've seen lots of Twitter questions about Nebraska being a top 7 school for NIL, but I can't find proof to back it up. Can you help? Resources, financial reserve, booster connection, and the ability to engage the fan base to create more revenue. All of those things in place, Nebraska's support, and the fact that Nebraska is the only show in town means that if somebody decides they are going to make sure that Nebraska has everything that it needs, that money is not being spread out like it is in Texas or California or Florida, right? It's just not going to have Alabama's success. Alabama has one real other financial distractor in Auburn. Other than that, everything in the state goes to them. Texas has Texas Tech, A&M, SMU,
TCU,
up and down the line,
Baylor.
right? Up and down the line.
Can we just keep naming Texas universities because there's like a million?
There's just
El Paso, San Antonio.
There's just a ton, man. There's just a ton.
South Texas,
right? We didn't even get into the small ones.
Texas State,
Sam Houston State. We
Texas
haven't got,
Southern.
Yeah, we haven't gotten into.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, like if you want to go to college in Texas, you have to. Texas.
I didn't even think about this.
San Antonio, University of Texas, El Paso, University of Texas. You can go through the full.
You have the Division II schools.
Division II, Division III, and the JUCOs.
The 12 million JUCOs.
Yeah, and there are a lot of JUCOs.
And then the high schools,
right? Which is just college junior.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. So Nebraska, if Nebraska decides to unite in its financial future for Nebraska athletics, it has no resistance. It has no, especially when it comes to football. And in basketball, think about it. Basketball is, I don't know why Nebraska doesn't just dump a ton of cash into basketball, because it only requires 5 really big plugs to make the thing work. It's much easier to turn around the basketball team than it is the football team financially.
Yeah, but a lot of the really big plugs from the university are all in on football and not the biggest fans of basketball. Like that's the thing I don't get is people that are like, I love football, but basketball I hate, I'll never watch, and it can go kick rocks. Like people that are just like, I don't care about this sport, so whatever.
Well, I'm those people can sit in a corner.
I'm like, sports are fun. What is wrong with you?
That's not a sports thing. People, if you're hating.
Yeah.
Come on. We know what that is, and it's kind of sad, and folks can just be mad. But yeah, that's the thing. So Nebraska can be a top 10 NIL location. Matter of fact, it should be top 5 if the focus is United. Like if they decide, hey, here's where we're going to put money. Remember, you're sitting on a reserve and a reserve of cash, and you have access to all of the boosters and the financial basis. So
True.
Pretty simple. So yeah, that's the thing. Pecan Pie, what's up, DP? What's up, Pecan Pie? Touchdowns and bad intentions. I just watch the Farley YouTube video Mike was talking about. Farley was a missile. He flew around the stadium with very bad intentions. He stood out on the field, even with All-Americans, NFL draft picks, Hall of Famers. I'm ready to put the pads on and strap up the helmet now and go out and have some fun. Might want VJ to watch it so he can see Farley's touchdowns. Yeah, I will plug that into Rashawn so that
Didn't Farley say that he had more touchdowns than Vershawn did in his career?
Yeah, and they're together today for the whole show.
Oh, okay.
So buckle up with that. Let's see. Husker fans at Northwestern, their ceiling as a football program is winning the war. Yeah, I mean, I think programs have to reevaluate and reassess themselves on what they can and can't do. Ted says this: don't fool yourself into thinking that if Nebraska worked its way back up to the top of the West, that we would stay there like Ohio State. Honestly, we would probably be more like the other West school every other year. But I think Husker fans would accept that.
Yeah, I say, would you take that? Would you take being a Wisconsin or an Iowa where year in and year out you are going to get 8+ wins?
Mm-hmm.
You might win the Big Ten West.
Yep.
You might play in the Big Ten championship, and every third year you have a chance, if you win the Big Ten championship, to go to the college football playoff.
So
would you take that? I mean, unless expansion, when expansion happens, if you play in the Big Ten championship, you will go to the college football playoff regardless. Probably. Depending on how many teams they put,
Depending on how many teams they put in.
If they go to 8,
you'll go to the playoff. You'll go to the playoffs.
Yes, you will not have a good matchup.
You may not have the matchup you want, but you'll go to the playoffs.
You'll probably play, SEC
runner-up or number 3, depending on the year.
Yeah.
So all of that's true. Just imagine like Ohio State or Michigan playing Ole Miss. Like that's what that would like the
Sign
better
me up.
right?
As long as Lane Kiffin's still there, sign me
up. Husker fan asked this question as we were asking: Big Ten football championship or volleyball national championship?
Volleyball. Oh wait, hold on. You said football championship? Big Ten football championship.
Big Ten championship
or
versus
volleyball
national championship.
Big Ten football championship puts you in the college football playoff with a chance to go to the national championship. But again, you're not giving me that. A volleyball national is a volleyball national, though. That is the tippy top of the tippy top. Because if you win the Big Ten championship, you could be like Michigan State.
2 doors.
When
Rico.
they got
which door you going in?
Rolled by Alabama.
Which door are you walking in, sir? Big Ten football championship or volleyball national championship?
They both feel amazing.
Because you've had volleyball success lately, I think you take football.
Probably.
Right? I
mean, volleyball will be in the championship game, so they'll probably just get runner-ups.
So.
Because that's just guarantee me that they win that game.
Right.
Other than that, they will be there, so it's fine.
Oh, man. That's funny. Consistent Mike asked the question, is just my opinion that women's basketball program doesn't get as much love as the men's program. Why is that, Consistent Mike? I don't know, because again, so we have Ashley Scoggins has a weekly show now.
Splashly.
Right. Splashly for 3. And they make themselves available, and then
hey, stranger,
yeah,
come on in,
yeah, what's going on?
Look,
he got the tumblers.
Wait a minute,
He's got the
Get
tumblers.
in here.
Let's bring in head coach Mark Manning. This is exceptional.
Wow, look at you.
Exceptional.
Look at you.
He comes bearing gifts. Oh, this is exceptional. This is exceptional. Tell you no. What we'll do this? We'll throw it to break and come back. Mark Manning's in the building. He brought gifts. We love him anyway. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years. and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's Downtown Spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the sidetrack band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
Allo knows businesses need reliable communication, both at the office and at home. Now more than ever. Just listen to Bill Mitchner from Lighthouse.
Before we'd have breaks in service, especially for internet, but we've never had any issues with Allo. It's always been there and available when we needed it.
At Allo, supporting your business is our business. To get your free quote and switch today, visit allofiber.com/workfast or call 402-480-6685 today.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Prescription opioids can be addictive and dangerous.
Opioid pain medication took everything that I had. Nothing mattered more than getting my fix. Knowing that it could have been prevented makes it worse. It just takes one.
Prescription opioids. It only takes a little to lose a lot. Developed by CDC.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric always makes safety a top priority for our home and office. In under just 1 hour, their team installed the state-of-the-art air scrubber system directly into our existing HVAC ductwork. This technology purifies the air and reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses, creating a safer breathing environment for my family. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Expect sunshine and mild conditions again. We'll top out near 57, a northwest wind at 10 to 15. A few clouds moving into the region tonight, a low of 30. Tomorrow we'll hold a high of 42, but falling afternoon temps. North winds eventually gusting 35 to 40, and a chance of snow moving in by late tomorrow afternoon. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Dan Friedman. In recent years, over 1/3 of all Nebraska traffic crashes have been caused by drivers aged 15 to 19. If you're a teen driver, don't become another statistic. Keep your eyes on the road. And if you're a parent, please remember that safe driving habits start with you. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices. For almost 60 years, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sink the boat, baby. Sink the boat. We just got Mark Manning came in, dropped off some tumblers, wrestling tumblers from the match on Friday. Yeah, Look at Mark.
Oh, you just gonna take.
Mark Alwan comes in. He goes,
Thank
they brought
you.
3. Well, they're accounted for.
There goes one for you, one for me.
They're accounted for.
There you go.
We're all hyped now. Listen, if you get to spend, he's like oxygen. Like Mark Manning walks in the room and the air changes and you get hyped up.
Just
and,
energy.
yeah, man, he's good. They're headed. They're taking off. They've got number 14 Minnesota tomorrow. And he's taking a crew, and he feels pretty good. So we'll support that, and we'll report on it. We'll have him back on next week. Rico, time for your rant, kind sir. What moves you today?
My rant today. It's a dumb rant, and there's like really no ill will or any base for it. It's just the Kyrie Irving situation, where currently Kyrie Irving is allowed to play away games that are not in New York because of the COVID restrictions in New York, which is fine. But he hadn't played because of, I don't know exactly why the NBA or Brooklyn wasn't letting him play. But he played in his first game back, and they destroyed whoever they were playing by like 30 points. And now Brooklyn is petitioning the city of New York to allow Kyrie Irving to play. And even if that doesn't happen, what they can do is have Kyrie play, and for each game they will just have to pay a fine. For the first offense, it's $1,000. Second, $2,000. Third, $4,000. Fifth, and beyond, $5,000 each time he plays. And this is dumb, and it's going to go against some of the things that I've said before. Just pay the fine if you really want him to play that bad. It's $5,000. That is nothing. If you really are going to make this big of a deal,
if it was $100,000,
understandable.
They would pay it.
Oh yeah, probably. But it's $5,000 for every offense after 5.
So so Gatorade sales goes to
I have ticket sales for the front row.
No, 1 ticket.
Oh yeah. It's the Barclays. That'd be MSG too.
Yeah,
be half a ticket at MSG.
Yeah, 1 ticket. No, it would be a tenth of a ticket. People, you pay $10,000 to go watch the front row for the Knicks.
I don't know if I'd ever want to sit front row, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes, you do.
No, we'll talk about that later. I would like front row, like courtside.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'll sit like two back. I don't want to be courtside.
Why?
Because that's when if you spill your, and for me, I'm clumsy. If you spill your drink, it's a whole commotion.
Well,
you get the cameras on you.
It's a cap drink.
You get,
it's covered.
You get your food. You spill that. You're just in the way.
You're not going to eat down in the front row. If you at Madison Square Garden,
people eat.
You're not going to eat.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't even.
You
drink.
are not going to eat.
I would be into the game.
Right, like
you're.
Yeah, because you're going to jump.
My only thing for that would be I want to be like in like the corner. Like the corner 3 on one of the sides. So when somebody shoots it and they like turn around, I can just let's go. Let me high five RJ Barrett real quick.
Yeah, no,
but no, I don't know about front row. I'd be like 2 rows back.
No, front row, bro. If you're gonna go front row.
I mean, I ain't got that kind of. First off, I ain't got that kind of money. But just watching a game at MSU would be enough for me. You can put me in the nosebleeds, I'll be fine.
Somehow. Becky and I were talking about it, and then of course Matt Abdelmassian was talking about it as well, and of course Buzzy, he's buddies with Alec
Burks, who has been our savior for many a game.
Yeah, but somehow we have to get you to a Knicks game.
That'd be a problem.
Somehow we have to get you to a Knicks game. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Well, one of these years, Rachel wants to go Christmas in New York, and people are like, oh, it's overrated. But I don't care.
It is not overrated.
I don't care. It looks fun.
It is not overrated.
I want to go see the big tree.
Even in a pandemic, it wasn't overrated.
I want to go see a big tree.
Like
I don't care if it's just a tree with no, it's big. It's massive.
Well, just to go and watch the Christmas windows and that sort of stuff. But then their plays and the ball games and the restaurants are amazing.
Plus, we love Home Alone, so we'll take a trip, try and find those places. It'd be great.
Yeah. So you need to do that. We've talked. Becky and I have talked about we need to get Rico to the next game. Like that has to happen somehow, some way.
You need to put a GoPro on me and.
Oh, just
probably
we have to warn the authorities and let Spike Lee know.
Like that. Oh my gosh.
let Spike Lee know and Dustin Hoffman.
If I could get like an obnoxious suit and like sit like across from
Oh, we would
Spike
get
Lee?
you like
Would we be like twins?
Yeah, we would get you.
Do
like
I need to get the
full-
colored frames?
Yeah, you
also?
need the full frame, and we'll get you like because they have Nick's suits.
Yeah. Oh, I'd rock that.
They have Nick suits, and we would just put you in the.
I'm gonna give Clyde a hug.
You just walk up. You just walk up to. Mr.
Just
President.
don't even say anything and walk away.
Yeah, right. Like we're old friends, but he doesn't know it.
And he's just like,
so what just happened?
but he's smiling the whole time because he's too nice to say anything. He's just like, okay.
Would be amazing. It just we need to start doing that.
I want to do all of these things.
No, I want to do like now in my head. I want to do this around Lincoln and just walk up to people and go, "My friend," and just hug them and walk
See,
away.
but we can't. If it wasn't COVID, it'd be a lot easier.
Well, I'm still messed up, but I would
Yeah.
still.
But no, you can't. You don't say anything. You just walk
You
up.
just
give
walk
them a
up,
hug,
hug
and
them,
you
and
walk away.
You walk away, man.
That might make somebody's day, honestly.
Or send you to
or
jail.
piss somebody off.
Send you to jail.
Why are you touching me?
I think I need to do that. I think we need to absolutely do that.
Okay.
We're going to start doing that. Just that's going to happen. All right, we're toward the break. We'll get back to the text line because we were in a pretty good place, and then Mark Manning came in, and the room changed. So you listen to Old School 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What are you doing, Sip? I thought the chickens could use some more light in their lives. So you're building what exactly? It's a motion censored switchboard. Duh. Are you sure you know what you're doing? Of course. Ow! God! Ow! Seems like a job for a professional. Just one more wire. Yep, there you go, right there. Don't be like Sip. Call Joe at Ambition Electric for any of your electric needs at 402-217-3415.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric always makes safety a top priority for our home and office. In under just 1 hour, their team installed the state-of-the-art air scrubber system directly into our existing HVAC ductwork. This technology purifies the air and reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses, creating a safer breathing environment for my family. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years, and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's downtown spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the Sidetrack Band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P. At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Alla knows businesses need reliable communication, both at the office and at home. Now more than ever. Just listen to Bill Mitchner from Lighthouse.
Before we'd have breaks in service, especially for internet, but we've never had any issues with Allo. It's always been there and available when we needed it.
At Allo, supporting your business is our business. To get your free quote and switch today, visit allofiber.com/workfast or call 402-480-6685 today.
Prescription opioids can be addictive and dangerous.
Opioid pain medication took everything that I had. Nothing mattered more than getting my fix. Knowing that it could have been prevented makes it worse. It just takes one.
Prescription opioids. It only takes a little to lose a lot. Developed by CDC.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Dan Friedman. In recent years, over 1/3 of all Nebraska traffic crashes have been caused by drivers aged 15 to 19. If you're a teen driver, don't become another statistic. Keep your eyes on the road. And if you're a parent, please remember that safe driving habits start with you. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices. For almost 60 years, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked up by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hour number 2, Old School. Who is Rico? Maybe Mark. Who was doing who made the who sound in the Foreman video?
Adrian Fiala.
It's Fiala, right? It is Fiala. That's what I thought.
That's what I was told by people who know him and know that more than I do.
Okay, that's what that was. So I've been asked several times, and I was like, okay, let me make sure I get it. 402-464-5685, the Starter Heyman text line, and the Honda Lincoln hotline. Rico is having fun with the question of the day.
It's fun, and people, we're getting varied responses, which I really like. I really like it. This one from Jake. I think people forget back in the day there were 8 teams, and it was us and OU. The Big Ten West is 7, and with much more even talent across the board. Essentially, winning the West is equivalent to or tougher than winning the entire Big 8. It should be a big deal.
I just think in asking the question, what the fan base feels is a priority. What's important. And I think if you ask that question now versus 2 years from now, it'll be different based on the results. If football finds its way, you'll start to believe. If they don't, people are just going to start leaning towards these other programs. I want to get back to Mike's question, text. He says the women's basketball program doesn't get as much love as the men's program. Why is that consistent, Mike? I'm not sure that that's the case anymore. The women's program is the basketball program right now. 8,000 plus at PBA. 13-2 record. Winning matters. Style of play matters, right? The players are likable and they have a good time, and they've gone viral several times about the way they engage each other and interact, and their post-game antics are part of social media lore. People can't wait to see them do their post-game strut into the locker room. You make a 3, you get the tricycle, you get you get all sorts of things going on.
Bench press.
Right? It's entertaining. And they're winning. We cover them both. As a matter of fact, tonight will be the first night that we do a Huskers women's basketball postgame show. Here's the thing. Next year with volleyball, we'll do a volleyball postgame show. The idea is to cover more and to give access for the people who are interested and want to do that sort of thing. Yeah, we'll be here. The light will be on. Feel free to stop by. We're trying to cover all sports. And again, with Mark Manning coming in, they're headed to Minnesota to take on number 14 Minnesota.
To sink the boat.
To sink the boat. I was trying to read this one. What's up, DP? I understand what you're talking about on how getting Nebraska on the same page and having a unity of purpose. But after 20 years of sub-level performance and not being able to compete at a high level or the highest level, this fan base is more apathetic than it has ever been in the history of this university. And I cannot see what we have in the football program to be excited about. I think some excitement would be based on the coaching changes.
Mm-hmm.
And in particular, the fact that you get recent success. What Mickey Joseph, being a part of the program anyway, and then what he's done recently at LSU, Whipple, and what he's done. I mean, if you can create, it's been since Marino, since they've had a quarterback that had that kind of publicity behind them. So there was a reason, because it was production. The unity part would be in the powers that be, the decision makers, getting on the same page about how they want to distribute funds and how they want to raise funds and what they want to draw attention to. The women's sports, it would be a pretty good investment.
Yeah.
It would be a pretty good investment to direct that. NIL.
Well, think about it this way. The women's sports at Nebraska, if you put more money into it and show that you care more, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the girls' sports scene in the state of Nebraska in high school is pretty strong. So if you put more money and invest more time and show that you care about the women's sports at the University of Nebraska, maybe a lot of those talented athletes from the high school ranks, instead of going to Oklahoma or Alabama to play softball or leaving the state to play soccer or whatever other sport that they're going to play, because Nebraska volleyball does a good job of keeping the really high level in-state talent in state. Maybe those girls, instead of going to Alabama and Oklahoma for softball, will go to Nebraska for softball. We'll go to Nebraska for soccer and what have you, and help this university get to a higher playing field in all of those sports as well.
Yeah, it seems that Nebraska tends to attempt to be proactive and ahead of the curve nationally when it comes to how student athletes are dealt with. It would behoove the state as a whole to get in front. Now, how you deal with NIL and how you deal with recruiting, because if you're going to lean towards the transfer portal, Nebraska can use the transfer portal to bring back former Nebraska high school student athletes who they missed in the first rotation. But I'm not sure that Husker fans are in for the full transfer portal over recruiting local high school players.
Yeah, the hard part with the transfer portal and getting those high school players on the second go round from Nebraska is, how did you recruit them on the first go around?
How you treated them?
Because if you didn't recruit them as a regular recruit, as possibly an out-of-state recruit, and you were just like, hey, you're in state, why don't you just walk on? Like, we're here. You could just come here and whatever, as opposed to actually recruiting, because people want to be recruited. Kids want to be recruited. Doesn't matter if you're the in-state school, if you have a leg up and you're their favorite school, they want to be recruited. They want to feel wanted. Everybody wants to feel wanted. So if you didn't do a very good job of recruiting them the first go around, and then you come back around the second time after you've struggled at whatever position they're at, and you're like, hey, we could really use you, this, and that. Like, where was this the first time?
I think a lot of that's in the messaging and the way that the recruits would be approached. The question for me would be, because it's two sides to the discussion. The transfer portal allows you to judge and bring in folks who have already been at the Big Five, Power Five level. Like, they've already been there. There are people to say, well, when you hear a recruiting a 17 or 18-year-old who's never played college ball versus a 20-year-old who understands the time management, who understands the workload, who understands the game day and the recovery and all of those things, there's a maturity in the transfer portal that you don't get in the high school game.
Yeah.
So then it becomes, who would you rather have, right? Who would you rather have? Would you rather have the player who's been at the college level, or do you want to raise and develop high school recruits? Like, that's going to be the decision going forward.
Yeah.
How do you manage and manipulate your roster? Is it towards transfer portal known players, right? Because there's a part of the fan base that says, well, they've never been at this level, so how do you know what you're getting from them?
Mhm.
Well, the high school players have never been at this level either.
Mhm.
So then you go with the known rather than potential. You could coach them both at the same level. So if you can coach, if you get an experienced player, you can coach that experienced player the same way you coach up a brand new recruit.
Yeah. You're still developing them. You're still trying to get them better than where they are when they get to you. That's not going to change.
What do you think Husker fans prefer? Transfer. Let's start with football.
Mhm.
Transfer portal versus recruiting, because then you have to also ask the question: can we recruit at the level that we can transfer in?
Mhm. Right now, based on what I've been seeing, the recruiting rankings still matter to a lot of people. So I would say that the high school level recruiting is still very important to Husker fans, and that people would rather they get high level recruits out of the high school ranks and bring them in, develop them, and
But
what
that's
have
assuming
you.
you can get them.
That is assuming you can get them, and that is assuming you can develop
The
them.
transfer portal is an immediate relationship.
That's true, but that is also assuming you can get them. You still have to go in there. You still have to recruit them the same as a high school player. The only difference is, like you said, they've been at this level. They've played college ball. They know what it takes to get themselves ready for a game day and how to recover after a game day and what have you, how to practice, how to do all of that.
But we've seen immediate recent results that say Nebraska recruits at a much better level in the transfer portal than they do for high school recruits.
They do, but people would still prefer the high school recruits.
Why?
I don't know why. My only thing would be, when you get the high school player, you have hopefully 3 to 4 years with that player. Whereas in the transfer portal, depending on if you're getting, an early transfer or a later transfer, you have a year, maybe 2.
Yeah, but most freshmen coming in aren't putting up anyway.
No, they're not. For me, the perfect balance would be, you're still obviously going to recruit offensive line, defensive line from high school, but the perfect balance would be high school skill position, transfer portal, big boys. Because when you come in as a freshman on the offensive defensive line,
yeah, it's tough.
You're not ready.
It's tough.
You're not ready to play.
It's tough.
When you're transferring in, you've been there. You've put in the work. You've put on the weight. You're ready to get in there. You maybe just need, some more technical stuff, some more, learning what to do with your hands and your feet.
So for basketball, same question. Transfer portal, high school recruit, right? And it's okay for it to be a fair balance of both.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you can go, you get the Bryce, but you and the Breidenbach, but you still get the Derek Walker
and the Trey McGowan
and the Trey McGowan.
Well, you don't get the Bryce without the Trey, so
right. Well,
yeah, right. So
right.
there is that.
Right.
I love the transfer portal in basketball. My only issue is what we've seen the last 3 years in trying to cobble together a roster of talented players.
Well, there's a difference between being in the program, having it function, and then starting a program.
Yes.
Right. Fred had to come in and
started
late. Like
Yeah.
he got into the shopping cart late. He was the last guy in the grocery store before the snowstorm. Like he was the last person. Everything's off the shelf. There's a few bottles of water. There might be one package of toilet paper.
He was getting that tofu bread that
right. Right. Like he was getting that thing that had the expiration date that was kind of over.
It was like the next day,
Yeah.
but it wasn't looking too good.
Right, like it was like, okay, this
Yeah.
bread says it should have been off the shelf yesterday.
No, I love
but I
the
still need bread.
Yeah,
I need bread.
I'm gonna take it.
I'm
not gonna like it, but I'm gonna take it.
Right, and then constantly Nebraska's a program like for the past few years had to go and do the late shopping.
Nebraska has needed bread for many years and
Right.
keeps getting the old bread.
Right. And this is the first year they got fresh bread.
Yeah.
Now, you still got to figure out the rest of it, right? How do we manipulate and manage the rest of it? And if you go into next year knowing that you need to go shopping early.
Mhm.
So they've done that. They've got 2 legitimate prospects to come in the door. That's not to say that they don't go to the transfer portal and see if they can get another big and to get another point guard.
I think you still go. You go in the trend like the transfer portal. What the transfer portal should be is to fill holes of immediate need. Like if you have a spot that you've recruited pretty strongly, but you don't feel as if any of those guys are ready right now to contribute, but they will be maybe a little bit ways down during the season or during their time at the university. The transfer portal is immediate need. Like if you have a team and you have a great shooting guard who's 3-and-D, he can hit the shot, he can defend. You've got a small forward like Bryce, but it's positionless, whatever. You've got a Lat Mayen and a Derek Walker, and you don't have a point guard who can run the show. You went out, you got Alonzo Verge. It took him a while. The first couple games, he was trying to score. He was trying to do what he did at Arizona State and be that spark plug, but he's realized I need to facilitate the offense. And you've seen that the past couple of games. He had 9 amazing assists. Should have had more if people were hitting their shots. People were hitting their shots, but there were a couple open shots that were missed. But that's what you do is you get a spot that you need immediate help at. You go into the transfer portal and you try to find somebody that fits exactly what you need, because there's a lot of people in the transfer
It's all
portal.
grocery shopping.
Yeah.
It's grocery shopping and dating, right? That I don't have what I need, so I need to go get what I want.
Yeah.
And you can get too comfortable in throwing away what you have, right? You're not as motivated to make it work with what you have. But also there's the tendency to look over at your neighbor's yard and look in their fridge and go, well, what are they eating? Like, wait a minute,
I don't have that.
He's grilling prime rib. Like, wait a minute, what is going on? Like, he's got the
I
smoker going.
I got chicken patties.
Yeah,
What's
he
going
got
on?
the smoker, and I'm so that's the constant for this
Hey,
program.
guess what? Chicken patties are good sometimes.
Yeah, but chicken
patties are good
The
sometimes.
neighbor he's got the nice cut.
See, but the thing is, you don't have room in your fridge for a nice cut.
No, yeah, you know.
Right now.
Well, look, you throw out some stuff.
Well, then throw out some stuff.
Like that's what's happening with Nebraska football. I mean, think about it. If you're Harburg and Smothers, you're sitting back watching all of this, and I would imagine they're either inspired or offended.
Both,
right?
They can be both,
right?
You can be offended that they didn't believe in the talent that you had, and be inspired to the fact that, okay, if you don't think that I'm good enough, let me show you.
But Smothers has been here and they didn't let him show.
Yeah,
and so they needed to let him show.
Yeah, but then they didn't really let him show.
They let him play. They didn't necessarily let him show. That's not. And Harburg's there. I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
Same in the running back room. Right. All of the talk yesterday. You bring in DeAndre but the conversation to yesterday's point was that's a full room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it just got what's the appropriate grammar? More fuller.
It is stuffed to the gills.
Is fuller? It's fullerist.
Fuller.
It's
Fuller
fullerist.
House.
It's fullerist. No, you just brought in an additional running back
After bringing in a transfer running back last season and having some nice recruited running backs this season.
You're bringing in receivers.
And last year.
You're bringing in receivers from Power 5 programs, right? That's a whole thing.
And that wide receiver room is
well.
That's hard because I think the receiver room is stacked. I think they have so much talent.
You think it's stacked?
I think there's so much talent in there that has yet to see the field or really get a chance to prove itself on the field, that you keep bringing people in and putting them above these guys, and it's like,
well, you're not putting anybody above them, but
not right away.
But you have to imagine the conversation that if you're recruiting a receiver from LSU, how are you getting him if you're not at least having the discussion about where he's going to fall on the depth chart? at least to begin with. Like
Former 5-star who is also really good at returning, and you have one of your receivers who is currently doing the returning.
Like, am I going to start at the bottom?
Am I going to start in the middle?
Like, where does this belong?
Closer to the top.
Right? And if you're Omar Manning and Xavier Betts and Oliver Martin,
are you feeling good still? Are you still like, yeah, I'm still the top dog? Or are you sweating?
Right? Like, but I think that this is how the program is going to be defined. Is what is the reaction from the players who are already here? The same thing's in play for the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, Shenandoah had a pretty good year, right?
I would say he had a pretty solid year. Yeah.
Right? That defensively, you had a pretty good year.
I mean, it was your best unit.
But Dawson and company, are we talking about them? Are we talking about Travis Fisher? Or are we talking about Mickey Joseph?
We're talking about that.
It's
always the new shiny thing.
It's the new shiny thing.
It's always the new shiny thing. And I think that the defensive guys prefer that. I don't think they care that they're getting talked about. Granted,
they care. They care. They absolutely care.
Granted, you get talked about, you get paid more, so there is that.
They absolutely care. What is it? Anytime you put the black shirts versus the red shirts, it's what you get.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. Why are we giving them more?
Well, maybe they don't care right now, but once camp starts and they start whooping the red shirts' tails, then they're like, "All right, we good."
I think they care. Like, I think, and then think.
Do you think but seriously though, do you think that they're like sitting there and they're not okay with, you know, they just brought all these new coaches in? Of course they're going to talk about them. Like, this guy was a former player here. He's a wide receivers coach for multiple NFL wide receivers.
But
you brought in a new offensive line coach for a very struggling offensive line.
Yeah.
You got a special teams coach for a team that was god awful in special teams, and you got a new offensive coordinator who just led a top 10, top 5 offense in the country with a Heisman finalist. Of course they're going to get talked about more.
Who's the bigger story, then? Offense or defense?
In the offseason, offense. I think it's offense. You got all of these new coaches, new toys.
Whose personality will be this team? The defensive personality or the offensive personality?
Who's the head coach?
Scott Frost.
It's going to be offensive personality. It should be a defensive personality with the way they've been playing.
This is what I ask.
But it's going to be an offensive personality.
Which side of the ball determines the success level of this team this year, offense or defense?
Does special teams count into defense or offense?
Well, if they do it right, it's offense. Like, because you're getting if you do it right, if you do it wrong, it's defense because you're putting them in bad situations and circumstances.
Yeah.
Right,
who
like,
determines the success for this team?
Which
this coming
side
season?
of the ball determines the level of success this team has?
That's another good question. I want to say offense.
This team will only be as good as
the offense take. Well, you've seen, but the thing is, you've seen how, like, when the defense is playing lights out and they're playing great, they take them as far as they take them to the 99. They take them 99 yards, and then the offense is right there, and they're like, the defense is like, all right, we've done all we can. We're battered and bruised. We've got an arm chopped off. Here you go. Take this in 1 more yard. And the offense is like, yeah, I want this.
Finish to the textures. Finish this statement. Nebraska's football season will only go as far as the blank side of the ball takes them. Fill in the blank. What side of the – who determines how this season is going to go? Go ahead and hit us up, 402-464-5685. We'll read those texts when we come back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. In basketball over the weekend, Lincoln Pius X gave Lincoln Northeast their first loss of the season, winning 62-57. Northeast now sits at 10-1, and Pius sits at 7-4. The Pius girls would win over Lincoln Northeast as well, winning 50-42. Columbus won over Lincoln High 54-48, but the Lincoln High girls would win over Columbus 63-25. DC West beat Lincoln Lutheran 47-42, and the girls for Lincoln Lutheran won in their matchup over DC West 58-17. Gretna got a win against Lincoln North Star 57-53, and the Gretna girls would also win 59-35. Hastings SC won over Lincoln Christian 56-49. Barrier would finish with 20 points for Christian in the loss. Lincoln East got a big win over Fremont 62-47. Templemeyer would lead the team with 18 points in a win for Lincoln East. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served Buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Expect sunshine and mild conditions again. We'll top out near 57, a northwest wind at 10 to 15. A few clouds moving into the region tonight, a low of 30. Tomorrow we'll hold a high of 42, but falling afternoon temps. North winds eventually gusting 35 to 40, and a chance of snow moving in by late tomorrow afternoon. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Ed Orgeron joins us. You have told me before you have a genuine fondness for the state of Nebraska. Why is that?
You know, I always liked Nebraska. Growing up, watching Nebraska, Monty Kiffin, Tom Osborne, the great teams there. I just always liked Nebraska. I just think it's a great school, great state, great football, tough, hard-nosed football players.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, sewer and water underground repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. That's Select Plumbing at 402-560-6197.
This is Dan Friedman. In recent years, over 1/3 of all Nebraska traffic crashes have been caused by drivers aged 15 to 19. If you're a teen driver, don't become another statistic. Keep your eyes on the road. And if you're a parent, please remember that safe driving habits start with you. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices. For almost 60 years, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
You spend more time in your garage than outdoors in the wintertime. Isn't it time to get it organized? Call Travis at Classic Garage Solutions for his variety of organization packages. Turn your garage from a cluttered mess to a clean, organized space that'll be the envy of the neighborhood and something you can be proud of. You don't need to bring the same clutter from last year into the new year. Travis has storage options for cabinets, monkey bar shelving, or slat wall, and more. Call Classic Garage Solutions today at 402-730-1638.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
Back to Old School with DP and J. Presented by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. The text line. Nebraska's football success depends on the success of blank. Let's go through. Ohio Husker says, what's up? What's up, Ohio Husker? Got to play D to win. Oldest rule in football. Defense wins championships. But
offense wins games.
If we're relying on one side of the ball to take us anywhere, we'll have a very terrible season once again. All three facets need to work. Yes, but I still ask.
Obviously.
But some people would say defense, and I go, well, who? Then I would then ask, what player has to have the greatest success? And it's Casey Thompson. Then the defense can't be the thing that makes it all move.
Who's in the middle?
Who's in the middle of what?
Of the defense.
We don't know.
That person needs to have the greatest success.
Texas says the offensive line.
That would be nice.
That would be that.
That would be offense.
Shock Dog says the kicking game. Field goals will decide 2 or 3 games.
Hard to get into field goal range if your offense is garbage, though.
Yeah, but if the defense can put you down there.
It's true.
I don't know. Special teams. If our special teams can start getting the ball to a good spot rather than giving yards away, the offense and defense will follow. None of these are wrong.
That's why I asked:
None of these are wrong.
Is special teams defense or offense?
Wolfgang Scampi, offense. Look at what happened with Iowa and only having a defense.
Yeah, they won 9 games.
They went
to a pretty nice bowl game.
Don says, coach's side of the ball. We keep hearing about the talent we have. If the coaching cannot get the talent to connect, rise to their potential and excel at their position, they are. That's a weird read. We will not see success. Yeah, I mean,
I think they're found to be good at. Like they found those guys to be good at whatever positions.
Special teams obviously has to get better, but the success of any football team starts with the offensive and defensive lines.
It starts in the middle.
But if you could only pick one,
which line?
Right? Because do we know who the defensive line is?
We don't know like any starters anywhere.
We have by now.
Like offensive line, we have Nuruddin Nueli at left guard.
Maybe.
I think that's it.
Right?
I think that's the only one we know for sure. And even then, he might switch.
Right.
But I'm pretty confident in him being the left guard.
I don't know the right guard.
I don't know nothing else though.
Or the right guard.
Yeah.
Cleveland Mike says, what up, Cleveland Mike? He says the offensive line. That's the biggest key. That sets the tone for the physicality that you need to win, that you need in the Big Ten. What group will determine the success level of this team? Fill in the blank. Nebraska football's level of success will be determined by the success of boom. And then what player will have the greatest impact on Nebraska's football success?
Can we just have people like pick a player on both sides of the ball? Like the most successful player on the defensive side of the ball?
No.
And the most successful player on the offensive side of the ball?
You get one player.
Who are the well, you could just
some will say the kicker. Some will say the kicker. The kicker turns a 3-9 team to a 6-6.
Let's just say defense and offense. Who are the two most important players? One on defense, one on offense.
Okay. So
and you can't pick the quarterback because I know that's what you're all gonna say, so no.
Well,
obviously the quarterback is important. That's the offense. That's
I would
the
say
guy
the left.
that makes it
I would say the left tackle might be more important, or the center. Maybe because there were 2 years ago we were saying the center could cost you ball games.
True.
Right, put you in bad situations. It's also the anchor. Right, it's the anchor to the most important unit on the field. So
calling everything out.
So if I said Teddy and then
Nueli,
yeah, but who's gonna run the ball?
True. Who's gonna catch the ball?
No idea.
Well, you have Vokalek and Omar Manning and Xavier Betts and Oliver Martin. Those are guys who we have seen on the field, and we have seen what they can do, kind of.
Like, this is how many questions that exist. that I'm not sure whether the center or the left tackle is the most important starter this year. Like which one is right? That in the Big Ten where there's always heat from the edge. There's always like they're elite level edge setters in the Big Ten.
And they always have a big boy in the middle. He's not always going to get pressure, but there's always a big boy in the middle. So the center's going to have
he's got an additional task,
270 plus guy to deal with.
Well, but that dude on the outside. I mean, think about
they're moving.
What left tackles had to deal with last year.
They're moving.
Right? Which position is of more importance this year for the Huskers?
It's hard because if you say left tackle, that's all, and they're able to hold them, it's all well and good. But if the quarterback has to step up and your center's not up to snuff, he's getting rocked. You can say center, but your quarterback drops back and has immediate pressure from his blind side. He's getting rocked.
And he won't be there long.
No.
Like, you don't go and get Casey Thompson and then not protect him.
I would say left tackle because if they're providing pressure or they're providing protection from that side, the quarterback doesn't only have to step up. They are able to move around in the pocket.
But the center's the play caller. He's the protection caller.
That is true. But it doesn't matter what kind of protection you call if the pressure's coming from the left side is there
but
automatically.
If the center gets it wrong, they all get it wrong.
True.
Like
look at Alabama. They had a high level.
Joe Theismann would tell you all along how important Joe Jacoby is.
Yeah.
But also, his best friend on the team was Jeff Bostic. Like centers, Peyton Manning will tell you how important Jeff Saturday was to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like Terry Bradshaw said, listen, I mean, I'm going to give Mike Webster speech because this was my dude.
I mean, look at Alabama. They have an NFL level left tackle, and their offensive line was meh for Alabama standards.
Yeah, like we would take all of them.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to
Nebraska would take all 5 of them.
That's apples to championship rings.
What is it? Basic apples to championship oranges.
Yeah, that's it's different.
Yeah, we're not even. They're not even sold in the same section.
But their offensive line was but their left tackle was elite, and you saw even in the national championship game, Georgia was getting pressure, but he was able to roll out because his left side was protected.
He can't block everybody.
No, but his left side was protected, so he didn't have to. He wasn't worried about his blind side. He was focusing on what was in front of him right there. He didn't even look left.
He can't block.
He was good. He was golden.
That's the one thing about the line play, bro. It's like you can't block everybody. Your
But,
left tackle,
big old Jordan Riley in the middle was a problem.
your left tackle can do it. So it's in the grand scope. We don't know because we don't know. A lot of the positions, we have some idea about the competition. In the receiver room, what player currently in the receiver room has to have the biggest year? And I'll point this out.
Mm-hmm. Oliver
Martin was a starter, right? A consistent starter.
He missed. He played the first game, then he missed 4.
Right, but in competitions, Oliver Martin has beaten out everybody on the roster.
Yes.
Omar Manning, Xavier Betts. Right, we've got a whole line of folks.
Those two have beaten everybody out on the roster, but didn't see the field as much for reasons we are not privy to.
We do not know.
We are not privy to those reasons. It is above our pay grade.
We do not know. And then you got a good recruiting class.
Mm-hmm.
You bring in, Trey Parker. You bring him in. I can't imagine you just bringing him in to. Are you bringing him in to be a factor in the passing game, or is he DeMornay Pearson?
That is a good question. I would say both. Was he 6'1"?
I'm not sure.
Because you could throw him in the slot and have him put in work there with his exceptional speed, which I did. I knew, I figured he was fast. I mean, he was a 5-star receiver. You got to be fast to be a 5-star receiver. He ran like a 21-21 in high school in the 200.
He just, when he ran away,
he doesn't look like. I watched his tape and I was like, this guy's not that. I was like, he's okay. He's not that fast. I looked up the times because you can look. You can't lie about your track times. That's everywhere. You can find those.
Well, you can also not lie about the space you create when you're running.
True. But you watch it and his legs look like they're moving so slow. And I'm like, he's covering ground, but it maybe just has long strides. And you look up the times that he puts up, and it's like, oh no, he's covering ground and pulling away.
Yeah, it's the spatial difference. Like you see him, you go, wait a minute, they're running. That dude's legs are pumping the same speed as his, but he is getting nowhere near him.
No. So I think he's going to be they brought him in to be a factor in the passing game, but mostly the return game. I think he's going to help out Hartzog.
I think it's fantastic.
But then you also have Alante Brown.
Like, I think it's fantastic.
Xavier Betts was a high-level returner in high school.
Right. I mean, you're not getting to the Hicksons and such, right? You're not getting into that space.
Yeah, you've got guys. That goes back to the special teams.
How do you have that many? Again, this is why I asked the question. How do you have that many guys who you deem as talent that you can't get on the field or get production from?
Said damn left tackle, man.
Well, a year ago we were blaming it on center snaps, right?
Yeah, they were going over, they were low, they were off to the right.
Then you got leaky line, then you got the running backs in pass pro. Your bet. Who is the starting running back in Ireland against Northwestern?
If healthy, Gabe Ervin.
If everybody, let's say everybody's healthy.
Gabe Ervin. He took the role as a true freshman in the first game of the season. He was 2 plays from taking it completely away from everyone else. Had a wide open hole. And the turf monster got him. Grass monster got him because it's natural grass down there.
But
if that doesn't happen,
it got Yant too.
Yeah. But if that doesn't happen, Gabe Ervin's the starter the rest of the season.
Is Yant folk hero or is he a legit starter contender? Like some people are made to be the hero as the reserve, the substitute, the guy that comes in.
Yeah, the backup's always
but
the favorite.
can he be the guy? Could Yant be the guy?
I think he can, but that would include him putting more focus on the rest of his game. Because as you've heard from the coaching staff, he makes mental mistakes, not constantly, but enough where they can't keep him in the game for long stretches of time. So if he were to focus more on his pass pro, on the plays and knowing which direction he needs to go, he would be in the game longer and he would be a legitimate threat to start.
How does he? This is what's mind-boggling to me. How are you as a coach not able? Currently right now you're not playing games.
Mm-hmm.
You have all of this time to get him in film study. You literally have a stadium and a practice facility that's open. You could walk. I mean, somebody, some quarterback knows the pass pro that you could put them together.
Yeah.
Like how is it possible that there are so many players that don't know what they're supposed to do when it's time to play?
That goes back to what Jay was talking about, where I think these guys know. I think it's when the lights get bright and the situation actually presents itself, they go back to something else and they try to make a play on their own.
But that's part of coaching.
And I get that, but I said before, you can do everything, put them in the right situation, tell them day in and day out, every hour of every day, this is what you do in this situation. But once they get put in that situation, you have poured everything. You've given them everything they need to be successful. But that 1% of that player, once they get in that situation, it's on them. They have to be in their head. They have to be in their head and realize, Coach told me this is right. Coach told me this is what I have to do. We worked on this day in and day out. This works every time. And then you have somebody running at you and you're like, I'm not going to meet him up top. I'm going to chop block him. And he jumps over you and he hits your quarterback.
You've been talking to them.
You have, and you've given everything for them to be
Have they been
successful.
telling you secrets, sir? Have they been telling you?
And you're telling them, you're letting them know everything,
Oh, man, you guys are so funny.
and they're just like, nah.
Oh, Rico. Okay, we'll throw it a break. We'll close out Old School with Rico's question of the day. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years, and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's downtown spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the Sidetrack Band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, sewer and water underground repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. That's Select Plumbing at 402-560-6197.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Expect sunshine and mild conditions again. Will top out near 57, a northwest wind at 10 to 15. A few clouds moving into the region tonight, a low of 30. Tomorrow will hold a high of 42, but falling afternoon temps. North winds eventually gusting 35 to 40, and a chance of snow moving in by late tomorrow afternoon. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Dan Friedman. In recent years, over 1/3 of all Nebraska traffic crashes have been caused by drivers aged 15 to 19. If you're a teen driver, don't become another statistic. Keep your eyes on the road. And if you're a parent, please remember that safe driving habits start with you. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices. For almost 60 years, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 330 North 48th Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
You spend more time in your garage than outdoors in the wintertime. Isn't it time to get it organized? Call Travis at Classic Garage Solutions for his variety of organization packages. Turn your garage from a cluttered mess to a clean, organized space that'll be the envy of the neighborhood and something you can be proud of. You don't need to bring the same clutter from last year into the new year. Travis has storage options for cabinets, monkey bar shelving, or slat wall, and more. Call Classic Garage Solutions today at 402-730-1638.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Now what do? Football is over. The weather's crappy. Man, I tell you what, it's a perfect time to go car shopping. This is Carl from Price Right Auto. Come out to Price Right in West O, and you'll find over 100 great vehicles at some great prices. With our non-commissioned sales process, we let you control the sale. We won't let you get a lemon since we back every one of our vehicles with our peace of mind 3-month warranty. If you want a hassle-free car buying experience, check out our website, PriceRightAuto.com. Come see a great selection of affordable used cars on West O Street at Price Right Auto.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment of Old School. We'll go to one-on-one, top of the hour. A lot of the same discussions because it's that time where we want to redirect. It is a big sports week here for the Huskers. We'll go through that at the top of the hour as well. Events going on. Of course, we had Mark Manning stop by earlier. From wrestling as they head to Minnesota. We generally close this show with Rico's question. It's just me today, so
I know.
You know.
So
go with it. What do you got?
I am going NBA.
Okay.
And where did it go? There it is. Okay. So currently there are it's a big number. There it is. 32 players averaging 20 points or more in the NBA.
Okay.
Who is the last one? Who was the last person averaging 20? Who is the 32nd player averaging 20 points? And I ask this because he is currently on the trading block and a lot of teams are looking at him. It's kind of a hard question because it's, 32 players, but
vague.
Yeah.
West or East?
East.
East.
Not a great team.
Not a great. That's a lot of teams.
Hey,
that's a lot of teams. Think of bad. Good players on bad teams.
Good players on bad teams.
So I'm looking
on the trading block.
I'm pulling up the teams,
mm-hmm.
So I can see who's in the pool here. Bad teams. Man.
And if you don't want that,
Trey's at Randall.
Nope.
Sorry to call you Knicks a bad team.
He's not on the trading block. Also,
bad player. The bottom teams are Orlando, Detroit, Indiana, Atlanta, Knicks.
It is one of those
teams.
teams.
The bottom of those teams. I'm trying to think of who's good on those teams, but I mean Trey's the only one that's good, who would average 20.
This player is not good. This player is
but
solid.
Just averaging 20 points a game.
This player was an all-star last. Was he? I don't know if he was.
I have no idea.
Jeremy Grant.
See, that I wouldn't think of him as a 20.
I didn't think Jeremy Grant was averaging 20. He is averaging currently 20.1 points per game.
Really?
Cole Anthony, another on Orlando, 19.8, right behind him. Do you know who's the top 5 in scoring?
Cole is where I would have gone.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Grant is not where I would have gone.
Do you know who's top 5 in scoring?
Who?
Can you name like 3 of them? I'm sure you can name 3 of them.
Full league, not even just the
full
East.
league.
Let's go through. Durant.
Mm-hmm.
Steph.
6th.
He's 6th. Ooh. LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis.
That's the top 3.
There you go. Look and see who else is. I need teams. I don't need.
These last 2 are in the East.
Yeah, I would have thought Bulls. And
7th. Sixers, yes.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Sixers, yes.
Sixers, yes. And you know who it is.
Right.
He is 5th.
Okay.
DeMar is 7th, if
DeMar
you're thinking
DeRozan
Bulls.
is 7.
4th is not either one of those teams.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Who's
actually
4?
just mentioned him.
Who's 4?
Trae Young.
It is Trae. Okay. Wow. Wow. Wow.
29 for Durant, 29 for LeBron, 28 for Giannis, 27 for Trae and Joel.
Yeah, I would not. It's almost overkill because my eyes for the NBA are now being drawn to good teams rather than good players. Because players move around.
Yes.
So then I want to focus on good teams and why they're good. And when you look at the top of the NBA and you go, wow, the Lakers are 8th with all that talent. Clippers 7th.
They just lost to the Kings.
Portland 10th. Yeah, that was not pretty. That was not pretty.
That's because Melo didn't play.
Just as a tease, who wins the West, Phoenix or Golden State?
Golden State. Clay's back. He's getting his feet under him. It's Golden State.
Okay. We'll go through that. I do want to. It is a busy Husker Sports Week. We will dive into that at the top of One-on-One. Stay tuned. 93.7 Ticket. We'll be right back.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. In basketball over the weekend, Lincoln Pius X gave Lincoln Northeast their